anyone else just sit around and think about how weird it is to actually exist. Sometimes I get weirded out when I look in the mirror and think, this is me. I exist, people see me every day. Sometimes I do, and get caught in a loop of wondering about it. To get out of that, I just tell myself thousands of really smart people over the centuries have tried to figure it out and they were all clueless too. So don't worry about it and just dive into doing something interesting, productive instead. Yep, it's like decades ago you didn't even exist and now you're an emotional mess with a hellscape of twisted ideas in your head, until one day that unseeable plane once again ceases to exist. Yes, all the time. I constantly struggle with the purpose of this. I have to force myself not to. I get a weird existential feeling about how I'm seeing things from my own perspective, if that makes sense. It trips me out. What happens when I'll die? An empty void of black? I hope not. From the moment I wake up, I'm confused about how people can just go around acting like being alive isn't a cosmic mindfuck. Yes. During those thought spirals I feel like saying fuck it and running into the woods. Why the fuck am I devoting my life to work? I have traveler friends who live off the grid and I wish I could do that, a lot. I tell myself it's not a good idea because without modern medicine I'd be dead, but the idea is so tantalizing. It sucks because you're either in or you're out. You can't be off the grid and just pop in anytime you want. Sure, you could try, and maybe do it for a while, but you still have to fully commit to either side. Musical note: how strange it is to be anything at all. Musical note. Only until it causes a panic attack and I need to distract myself. That and everything you've done in your life has led you to reading this thread. Yes, but thanks to a pretty intense acid trip, I don't like going down that hole much anymore. There is no bottom to it, and the sheer unknowable nature of existence can be as suffocating as it can be inspiring. I find myself looking at my own hand thinking how strange it is that it's a thing. That's the best part of being a nihilist. I keep having existential crises about this thought. To me it's so hard to think that in an infinite universe with infinite possibilities I was somehow created to live on this earth in this place in time and space. Like it's weird to think that I wouldn't exist if my dad didn't do the deed in that moment in time. Yes, it's weird anything exists. https://wiki/problem_of_there_is_anything_at_all. I think pets are super weird. Like this little free-loading animal just hangs around where we live and we not only don't mind their presence, but actively desire and encourage it. Only because they're cute. And cuteness is in itself a super odd concept when our closest living evolutionary relative literally tears apart and eats cute things without having the decency of killing them first. Anyway, my cat Steve is pretty cool. Everyone in this thread seems incredibly confident that they exist. Must be nice. Yep. Summed up by Arthur C. Clarke. Two possibilities exist. Either we are alone in the universe or we are not. Both are equally terrifying. Yes, and I hate it. Oh yes. Very often, I look around the room and look at inanimate objects and think, well, this chair or this clock or this wall exists. I could have been one of these things just as easily as I could have been a person. Or I think about all the time that's passed before I was born and just how long I didn't exist and there nothing I felt then, and whether that nothing will mean the same thing after I die. I was absent from the universe before, and I'll be absent from the universe again. But the second time around, will my presence have changed a thing? A lot of times I'll just look at my perspective and think, damn, I'm really living right now. Yes, and then you think about how fucking weird it is that you'll just stop existing at any second. Your consciousness, all your thoughts, this comment that I'm typing, it's gonna be meaningless. After that, there's literally nothing. All your experiences mean nothing. It's pretty scary, but only when I'm trying to get some sleep. All the time. Yes, but your brain is supposed to stop you from this as a self-preservation mechanism to keep you from freaking out. If you are inspired by the thought, cool. If you are crippled by it, and it happens a lot, seek help. I wish I'd gotten help sooner. Thanks, brain. I have a half-assed theory I don't take seriously. Causality is the result of interactions, and existence as we perceive it is only possible because we are literally incapable of perceiving nothingness. The metaphor I like to use for existence is this. For nothingness to exist, you cannot simply have zero. Instead, you have to infinitely compute the sum of two opposite parts, similar to -1 and 1. Calculus, for example, computes the global maxima representing a change in direction at absolute zero by infinitely approaching a curve from both sides, expressed often as a limit. So now, let's create a real-world example. You have a light switch. At any given time it is on or off. However, if you were to flicker the light switch very fast, you can no longer determine if the light switch is on or off. If it's infinitely fast, then it now has a combined state of simultaneously being on and off. That combined state is existence. In a similar way, all experiences created on the internet are the result of on-off signals flickering very fast on your computer. 0 or 1. Its rapidly flickering speed creates the illusion of digital existence from our perspective. Those digital experiences are nearly infinite, yet they do not exist in the real world. I would say the same for us. Our existence is a temporary illusion because nothingness requires the combination of two opposite states. For me personally, that makes existence not so weird, but moves the weirdness into an entirely different realm of what dimensionality is our existence. TL. Dr. Set theory. The universe is nothingness. To have nothingness, you have to combine everything with the negation of everything. The combination creates a new state where stuff seems to move from existence to non-existence. Entropy. While nothingness is infinitely refined, we spread entropy to make that possible. So we temporarily exist. And #X200B. https www.quantumagazine.org/a-new-thermodynamics-theory-of-the-origin-of-life-2014012/#. Text equals by %20 Natalie %20 Wolchover and text equals in %20 MIT %20 physicist %20 has %20 proposed to %20 acquire %20 lifelike %20 p. Physical %20 properties. https www.quantumagazine.org/a-new-thermodynamics-theory-of-the-origin-of-life-2014012/#. Text equals by %20 Natalie %20 Wolchover and text equals in %20 MIT %20 physicist %20 has %20 proposed to %20 acquire %20 lifelike %20 p. Physical %20 properties. https plato.stanford.edu/entries/set-theory/ https plato.stanford.edu/entries/set-theory/ I do, and the more I try reading philosophy for all the answers, the more I am assured of how absurd our existence truly is. Yeah, a lot. But it usually happens when I'm doing really mundane stuff like cooking, talking, or putting on my shoes. To get myself out of it, I just say in my head, existing is really weird, and try my best to ignore it and move on. Sometimes it happens when I'm driving and OHBOI. Is that unpleasant? It's just really inconvenient. Try nitrous. Yup, sometimes I wish I was the sperm that never made it. I do all the time, especially when I'm high. Shocker. I also think about how everything is literally weird, from eating to sleeping to working and living, or having thoughts and ideas, and how far we've come in just 50 years alone, and where we might be 50 years from now, and how weird time is and memories, and how weird everyone will be 50 years from now, and how weird they were 50 years ago, and how weird we all are now, and so on. LMFAO. Space is fucking weird, and so are planets and Wi-Fi. It's radio waves, which means it's a form of radiation, which is weird. Also, radiation is weird, so is having a big toe and bleeding and pooping and, like I said, etc. etc. Lololol. Edit. I really think about this almost daily, and much more. Yes. What makes me the most uncomfortable is that I see everything from my own perspective and am basically trapped in my own head. And so is everyone else. Everyone you see also is thinking about something, and from their perspective you're the other person just existing in the background. I get into this weird loop of staring straight at myself in the mirror and saying my name over and over again. I start thinking how weird it is that I have a name, and that this is what I look like, and people know me, and I just exist. I look at my hands and realize I can control them effortlessly. Looking back at myself in the mirror, I gaze into my own eyes looking for something. I don't know what. Sometimes I wonder how different I'd be if I was in another time. Sometimes I'd wonder if I'd be different at all. When I was a kid, I thought that it would make more sense for there to be nothing, rather than all this, whatever it is. Sometimes when I'm falling asleep, I get a really strange and jarring feeling that I'm mindlessly coasting through life, and it's accompanied by this scary thought that I'm stuck being myself, and presumably I'll never be anything else other than me. Yes, takes me to a dark state of mind. It doesn't matter if I die, in the grand scheme of things, will pop in my head from time to time. I too partake, currently growing my own, which is nice. Or you start looking at a word, letter for too long and it just trips you out. How strange it is to be anything at all. I think more about how weird it is that most people think existence is important. Sometimes I look at myself in the mirror and I'm all like, whoa, there you are, there I am, it's us, stop being weird, okay. Most people see it as a routine instead of an existence. Wake up, work, deal with spouse problems, sleep, repeat. We are here to figure out this universe, while the system keeps us occupied, allowing us to never even to think about why. Yes, constantly. And it sends me into this spiral of how nothing really matters, yet everything matters. I banned myself from doing this because it would always lead to the conclusion that there is no point in me existing. Yes, but usually when I'm out walking around, I see other people and think, wow, we all exist, and all these people have their own stories and emotions and lives. I think therefore I am. Awareness doesn't begin at the exterior level of self. It begins with the miracle that makes you you. your core, your spirit. Couple that with whatever consciousness is. Yeah, and it's weird feeling to know a lot, but to also know so very little, and to know science is ever evolving. So something that was a fact when younger, e.g., Pluto as a planet, I'm still pissed about this, often gets changed with new knowledge, math that is developed, discovered. Wish I wouldn't. Of fucking course I do. I think about how there may be aliens out there that have made discoveries similar to ours but with unimagined elements and in ways we couldn't fathom. Much like I imagine my mother's soul dissipating into the universe and parts of it clinging to flowers in alien worlds, with a color we cannot perceive. If I think about existing for too long, it feels like everything is floating away. I feels like I am moving further away from existence itself. I can't seem to stay grounded when I start talking or thinking about it. It's also weird how people just stop existing after they die. Like, of course I'd like to believe there's life after death in some form or way, but if not, it's pretty fucking crazy to just disappear. At least you get to leave a legacy behind, which is cool.